All right. So here's our cleave character. I finally put an MTX on. The by the way, the only MTX in this game is the Demon Hand Bitch Slap from 2013. That's it. That's the only MTX. So we'll give some date on cleave. And basically, I'm sitting around. I've got my Bringer of Rain, got my replica Wings of Entropy, and it's doing okay. I would say it's clearing yellow maps. I'm gonna show you guys a map clear, and it works, right? This, however, is with it as optimized as I can be. I am level 78, so 10 levels since the last update. I'm not playing a lot of time on this character because it's cleave, and when I play with other people and when I actually play any reasonably difficult content, this character just cannot do that. But I have, a level 2120 cleave. I've got my anomalous pulverize that I'm finishing leveling up. The reason for anomalous pulverize is it gives 10% increased area of effect on top of the rest of the area of effect that the pulverize grants. And cleave, we need as much AoE as possible because the +2 to radius for a total of 10 to radius is still very small. And that is with Blood and Sand for 14% more area of effect and anomalous pulverize. I mean, that's it. And melee strike range isn't on the tree anymore, so you can't get that for cleave. It's melee strike range on the tree. It's not weapon range, so it doesn't help cleave. So basically, in 3.15, they nerfed all of melee, but they especially nerfed things like cleave. Then the only things viable in melee right now are things that aren't actually melee. They're projectile attacks like lightning strike. But let's do this yellow tier 8 map. All right. Here's an update on the tree. I filled out this entire part of the initial tree that I showed. Right. We are frenzy stacking. We are using axes and two-handers, but we also get the benefits of dual wielding with replica Wings of Entropy. This is our main way of scaling this build. This is a very high rolled weapon, right? 68% more main hand attack speed, 79 out of 80 for the increased fizz, and good rolls on the block. But no one is playing melee, so this weapon is actually very cheap. And if you're thinking, wow, the damage on that weapon is really low, 173 to 261, yes, but it actually does more damage than an at serious disfavor for cleave because it counts as dual wielding. Yes, our bear weapon could be much better. We're also level 78. We're using a Bringer of Rain because it's a, pseudo 7 link, but really only a pseudo 6 link because blind doesn't count. But we want faster attacks and melee fizz. Those are good links. There we have, impale, cleave, anomalous pulverize, and life tap. I would like to not have life tap. Instead have either melee fizz, multi-strike, or rage, but we don't need rage. We do lots of hits and we generate rage passively with Axe Mastery. The nice thing about this is that it gives more added fizz to our attack, so we get to scale, right? So that's the idea. You get to ramp up rage faster, you get some more added fizz. Problem is that does not do as much for us damage-wise as multi-strike or melee fizz, which we would like to have in, but mana is an issue. You'll notice this is a Sinvictus. This is actually for a weapon swap at the beginning of a map to trigger Rampage, swap back, return on our 3 auras here, and then go through. So, with that said, I also have Ceaseless Feasts. I don't know if I included this in the previous video. the entire idea of Cecil's Feast is that you rip all the armor off of enemies, their evasion too, and then they have substantially less physical damage reduction. This is the biggest damage multiplier for physical melee builds in the game is these gloves. They're slept on. They're like 2C. When you combine this with 20% Overwhelm Fizz from this and 12% Overwhelm Fizz with that, you have 32% Overwhelm after their armor is gone. That's really good. I'm going to be farming Sulfite, so, you know, let's get the free Heistcraft. Make sure you, by the way, if you ever click those, you unclick them the next time because it remembers now, and you'll just start spending your chaos. Oh, that's delirious. All right, let's find some enemies. Yeah, weapon swap. Clean these guys up. Get my rampage started. Oh my god, that guy is too strong. Welcome to cleave. My weapon swap, I couldn't get my determination back on. We're just not gonna do rampage, I guess. We're not gonna use that tech. Pain, dude. It's fine when you're delving though. No, my fucking delirium is gonna end early. I'll come back and look at this later. But see, the clear isn't miserable, but that's because I've heavily optimized into attack speed, high impale, and basically my fizz damage is happening almost like true damage because they have no armor at all. And then any fizz damage reduction they have on top of that from Arch Nemesis mobs, I basically just penetrate through that, which is pretty good. It is playable with this level of optimization. It is not a very fast map clear, and I want to say it's better at map clearing than bossing. Most of your damage with bossing actually just comes from your totems. One thing that's nice about this build is that with Replica Wings of Entropy at least, and, you know, mostly just Replica Wings of Entropy, but we get a lot of attack speed on the tree. As well, we leap slam really fast. It's actually quite good for Delve because we have good endurance charge sustain, both from Bringer of Rain, getting it on block, and we have 32% chance to block. And on hit, we also get endurance charges from enemies that we've stripped their armor off, thanks to Cecil's Feast. So we have two types of endurance charge generation. We have it from map clear and from single target on bosses, so that's quite nice. Same with Frenzy Charge generation. We have it on kill from Blood Rage and also on hit, thanks to the Ceaseless Feast on bosses. Which is good because thanks to Slayer, we are stacking both of those. And so that helps a lot. Is this the boss? That was. I chose this map because I didn't have completion. I mostly have higher tier maps completed from playing in parties, and this one I was just skipped in a hobby. But yeah, so basically you can see that if you get an absolute top roll, the best unique weapon in the game possible for cleave, you use Bringer of Rain for a pseudo 7 link, really a pseudo 6 link with 2 level 30 gems that are good for the build. It's alright. And it's actually very low budget. The other thing, we're actually utilizing some mirror jewels. I mean, rings, not jewels. Anyway, so these are the reflection mirrors where I can have an insane amount of flat fizz and a lot of life. You'll notice this has minus intelligence and mana. The other one has plus intelligence. Little bit of negative strength and evasion, which we don't care about. That they're not impactful to the build, and losing 8 life per enemy killed doesn't matter because we're a Slayer. So basically, the downsides of these counteract each other, plus the they have to compete against the benefits of Slayer. So close to my 7th Frenzy and Endurance charge as we just hit level 79. Okay, I need to exile the Storm. Clicked on exile reflection. Skip. Alright. Got a notched one. Make your tablets right, and you'll actually get get returns. Oh, hold up. Totems plus Vuln. Hey, you'll be able to boss things a little bit. In the end, we will be able to hit like 1.5 mil at level 90 on our single target, thanks to some very clever optimization. Thanks mostly to Impale, honestly. And Ceaseless Feast. It's actually possible to get up to 2.3 mil. But we would be sacrificing our endurance charges, and we'd have to get rid of these rings, or get technically substantially better, rings that would be extremely expensive. I would have to get off of Bringer of Rain and have a good 6-link. Again, much more expensive. And then I would be able to use the Arn's Anguish Belt that drops from Maven that would turn my endurance charges into brutal charges. Which would remove an entire layer of my defense that I don't really want to do. But I really do want to do because it's brutal charges are a surefire way to actually have damage. Alright, let's do this expedition, and maybe I'll pull up the POB here. But is there rare weapons, rare jewelry, artifacts, quant? Okay, quant, artifacts, essence. Alright, time to die. Yeah, I'm gonna need to go into Blood Stance, have less AoE. Look how small that radius is, dude. Look at the logbook. The Pog book has been arrived. Okay. I don't want to lose my EXP. Please. I'll lure them to the doorway and cleave them. Dude, they're healing! Dude. I can't kill the runic monsters. You're telling me I can't fucking get through? Anyway, here you go. That's cleave, dude. We can clear maps, but if things just look at us the wrong way, we might not be able to do anything about it. Nice, some southbounds. Someone might want that for their AG or party play, if anyone still plays in parties this league. Yeah, so so this is cleave. I still need to do Uber Lab. Uber Lab will give me Cull. This is a huge damage increase. I mean, it's actually a little more than 20% more damage. Because of the gaining attack speed and move speed when you kill certain types of enemies. Obviously, the Cull is the reason to get it. Interestingly enough, actually, getting that 20% Cull does more damage than if you take the base crit, or if you take the 4-2 melee strike range, global accuracy, AoE, and then up to 15% more enemies based on proximity. So again, I want to point this out. This is to melee strike range. There's a lot of bonuses on the tree to melee strike range, right? You can get it in the attack mastery of 3. I have it here of 3 from Master of the Arena. You can pick some up over here in this cluster that then also has the strikes, fight additional enemy. Over here we have +1 to melee strike range, +4 if there's nearby enemies, and again with the same attack mastery. But cleave is not a strike, so we don't get to have the benefits of those reach bonuses, which means that a strike can have more reach than cleave, and then if you have the additional strikes from Tribal Fury and the additional strikes on a glove, you can be with heavy strike or some other strike skill, you can actually have more reach than cleave and have better coverage that automatically targets enemies instead of just a narrow cone. Cleave has terrible added damage effectiveness, right? It does low damage. Its radius is tiny and you can't really scale it. I'm doing everything I can to scale it, and instead, well, come on, I didn't typed in Cyclone. Right. For example, Cyclone, which is not a strike, has the line of increased area of effect per 1 additional melee strike range. Why is this line not also on cleave? Also, cleave needs to do more damage, because I mean, I'm as optimized as I really can be with this tree. I just need to have more levels. I'll get more crit. I get some more life. I have various spots of crit I'm gonna fill out on this tree, whether it be down in dismembering, the fact that I can pick up Titanic swings or Titanic impacts. My bad. This cluster, which actually does the most damage, and I can come through the dual wielding side over here because I get to benefit from both of these. Right, that is a pathway that does a lot of damage, but the skill that hasn't had an MTX since 2013, that has this much reach that's in blood, and this much in sand, where I've got 14% more area effect, with everything optimized for that end and single target damage. It ain't it. It is possible to hit 2 mil conditional damage with all your totems and your vulnerability curse, because your totems also, it's multi-totem, maim, ancestral protector, and ancestral war chief, because half of your damage comes from the totems with just that link, right? If you add in brutality charges, which I would like to do, I need the resists and the life. The one good thing about Bringer Rain, you get 298 life. Again, this is top roll. This goes up to 300. It's 200 to 300. It's a large range. Right. I would need to get resists here, which I would give up this huge amount of life. And I would give up endurance charges, but I could have brutal charges. Arm's Anguish, and that would give me a substantial amount of more damage. Anyway, there you go. I'll update this build probably when I'm closer to level 90. Get another level 10. Another 10 levels on it. Give you guys the update. Probably be a week or more from now. Peace out.